NHL insider Chris Johnson links the Canucks to a possible massive three-team trade, and Carson Soucy returns from injury. I'll get into all this later on this episode, but before I start, I'm just proud to say this episode is once again sponsored by Rentals.ca. Moves are coming. With all the rumors and reports that have been coming out around the Canucks, fans have been expecting for a lot of major shakeups around the league, the Canucks, which is definitely be exciting for hockey fans. And if you feel like you need extra excitement in your life, then it's time to move, and Rentals.ca has you covered. Rentals.ca is Canada's largest apartment hunting network. You can rent houses, apartments, condos, whatever it is, Rentals.ca has you covered. From coast to coast, you can go straight to Rentals.ca website. It's super clean and easy to use. My favorite thing about this is definitely the interactive map. You can pinpoint the exact street, your exact location where you'll be starting your new life, continue on your current life, or just getting some more excitement in your life by using Rentals.ca. Definitely check out Rentals.ca as they're a huge supporter of this channel and the NHL. They're big fans of the NHL, just like all of us. The link will be in the pinned comment below and in the description, so check out Rentals.ca for any rental needs you need. With that, let's hop straight into the first topic today, which is Carson Soucy returns. Now, Jeff Pettersson did come out today and say, based on Tocchet scrum in LA, Soucy for Freeman and Demko in goal for the Canucks, Podkolzin also gets another look, chance to build off a solid season debut in Anaheim. Now, obviously, the part I do want to look at is Carson Soucy himself. We've seen Soucy go down with a hand injury where he broke his hand by blocking a shot against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and since then he hasn't been in the lineup, and people aren't really looking at the impact Soucy had and how he can be such a game changer coming back for this Canucks team that's in a tiny bit of a slide. I mean, Patterson does say here again, generally don't keep individual skaters win-loss records, but Carson Soucy is pretty remarkable. The Canucks lost the first two games he played with him this season in Philly and Tampa. Then after that, the team is 16-1-2 with Carson Soucy in the lineup. Now, obviously 16-1-2, like it says here, is just outstanding to see from him. This is a guy that came into this team, struggled his first two games, and after that really took off. We've seen Tyler Myers go down with an injury. Obviously, the team was just kind of dealing with a few injuries around the lineup, losing Myers, not having Soucy, Dakota Joshua. But now with Soucy back, it does change up to this quite a bit. Like I said, Freeman is out of the lineup. Right now, the defensive pairings of Quinn Hughes, Filip Hronek, I think this is a staple and you don't change this up. Ian Cole, Carson Soucy, and Nikita Zadorov and Noah Juleson. The big thing with looking at this as well is once Tyler Myers returns, you can really look at putting him onto this third pairing with a guy like Nikita Zadorov, the giraffe line, if you want to call it, where the two massive guys can just kind of be madness pairings. But the big thing with this is the Canucks are kind of trending towards being healthy. We're seeing Dakota Joshua just kind of lean towards getting closer to playing. Once he returns, that's going to be outstanding for this team. And I think the Canucks are really done at making moves on defensemen. They have Tyler Myers. Like I said, they traded for Nikita Zadorov. Soucy has returned. And you have guys like Freeman and Juleson that can really come in and just kind of plug and play if an injury does occur in the playoffs. Maybe there's just a rest day, whatever it might be. I think the Canucks are pretty set at center, and getting Soucy back is going to be quite big for this team. Now, this kind of leads into what are the Canucks are looking at adding at trade deadline, and this is where a huge three-team trade inbound. Now, reports did come out, and I did a video on this yesterday as well. Darren Dreger just spoke on Pittsburgh Penguins and Jake Guentzel. Sources say the Penguins are hoping to have a trade in place for Jake Guentzel by tomorrow evening. Pittsburgh's open to qualifying off a quality over quantity in return, but would like a first young NHL player plus prospects. Flexibility comes in the caliber prospects or roster players. Now, this is quite a big report, and things get even more interesting for the Vancouver Canucks and the Pittsburgh Penguins that we be seeing a huge blockbuster trade being done. Chris Johnson did report what the Canucks believe to be among those pursuing Jake Guentzel. Word is they're having discussions about potentially flipping Elias Lindholm to the Boston Bruins as a part of a trade to make it work. Nothing concrete in place this time, still lots of moving parts, but this is picking up traction. So we've seen Elias Lindholm get traded to the Vancouver Canucks from the Calgary Flames. Since then, he's been in a bit of a whirlwind. We haven't seen him just find his spot in the lineup where they put him and they're like, hey, we're keeping you here for the rest of the year. He's kind of bounced around, and maybe this is the just Canucks saying, we don't think you're going to fit. Maybe we'll flip you to the Boston Bruins and hope to God they don't see him in the playoffs. But we would flip them to the Bruins, get returning pieces, and use those pieces to go and get a guy like Jake Guentzel. Now, Jeff does kind of talk about Lindholm here and says, a summary of Elias Lindholm's month with the Canucks. 2 goals in the debut, which was quite outstanding, and at that moment, I really thought we were going to see Lindholm score 30 or 40 goals, but it continues on. He wings with Elias Pettersson, centers Elias Pettersson, power play 1, then goes down to power play 2. A game with Miller and Boeser, centers his own line, plays with AHL call-ups, good on faceoff, plenty of penalty kill time, now floated as a piece as being moved to Boston in a 3-team trade. So Lindholm has, like I said, kind of struggled to find his spot in this lineup, and maybe the Canucks are really looking at this and saying, hey, we give up a lot to acquire you, but right now with you on the third line, you're not what we really are looking for. Höglander, Pettersson, and this is where I think Jake Guentzel would slide in beautifully, just adds so much offensive firepower to this top line. Then you see Mikheyev, JT Miller, and Boeser. Then you get a guy like Podkolzin who might move out in a trade to Pittsburgh to get Guentzel. Then you have a guy like Dakota Joshua that will take that spot over. Maybe see Teddy Blueger go up and just reunite that third line that dominated so much this year. Overall, I think the Canucks are really looking at so many options, and it's going to get quite interesting between now, after the game, and tomorrow when the Penguins want to move them. I definitely recommend to keep an eye on the Canucks for players maybe they're sitting out. Keep an eye on the Bruins. Maybe they're going to healthy scratch a couple guys that might be a part of this Lindholm deal. And keep an eye on the Penguins as well. There's going to be a flurry of rumors coming out. And honestly, Jake Guentzel right now is making $6 million. He is on the last year of his deal. We spoke on this yesterday. But the big thing is, this contract was signed by Jim Rutherford in Pittsburgh. We know Tocchet was an assistant coach with Jake Guentzel when they won 2 Stanley Cups. And overall, I think this deal might really happen. Like I said, Lindholm hasn't fit incredibly on this team. We see guys like Lindholm, Podkolzin, and Garland playing together. Yes, that is a deep, strong third line. But once you get a guy like Dakota Joshua back, then you move Teddy Blueger up. Are you really going to shake up the top 6 even more just to get Lindholm up there? Or do you rather just get a guy like Jake Guentzel, start fresh, see how it goes, and just get him into this lineup? Go for the Stanley Cup, and overall, like I said, it's going to be a whirlwind of rumors. And what's your guys' thoughts on this? Do you think getting Carson Soucy back is going to make a huge impact, and this is exactly what they needed for the past couple of weeks? And what's your thoughts on maybe flipping Lindholm to Boston, getting pieces back, and getting a guy like Jake Guentzel to Vancouver? But that'd be it for this episode of Vancouver Digest, or Canucks Digest. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to go and hit the like button, subscribe, and like I said, check out the pinned comment below the description of rentals.ca. They're a huge supporter of the NHL of this channel. They love the NHL, just like us. So if you need a change in your life and you want to find a new apartment, condo, whatever it might be, check out rentals.ca and let them know that we sent you. But with that, that'd be it for this episode, and take care.